Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be going over every set for every Uranium Pokemon. And now the reason I'm uploading this is because, well, reason number one, dude, look at the last video that's on our channel. It's been like a month or so. Two, I'm kind of bored and kind of want to have an excuse to upload on this channel. And three, I found this showdown server for Uranium not too long ago and wanted to make a video about every set for every Uranium mod. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to let you all know that even though I like competitive battling, I am no expert, so let me know if you think I should make some improvements to any of these sets, especially since I don't know how the meta works in this game, especially for a fan game. And another thing I want to go over is that I won't be going over any old Pokemon unless they have a new Mega or a new Evolution, and I won't be going over nuclear forms, personally because I just don't really feel like it. However, I will go over nuclear type Pokemon. So for example, I will go over Pokemon like Nucleon and Gyarados, but I won't be going over nuclear form Gyarados or nuclear form Corsola. So let's get into it. So we'll be doing this in Pokedex order, and we'll be doing this in Gen 8 rules because personally more fun, gives us more options, and plus that's as far as it goes. So first Pokemon is Talynx. So the Glass Steel type, it's a very good typing. However, it's pretty slow. It does have, though it does have good bulk and good enough attack. The obvious item will go for the meddling side, the Talynx side, I'm not sure. And it does get heat proof as its ability, which is pretty good, but I don't think you'll be surviving any fire move under drought. But actually, let's look at the stats for Metallic. So yeah, a lot of defense, a lot of attack, though not a lot of speed, but I think it can make up for it with the bulk. But as I said, I still don't think you're going to be surviving any fire move under the sun. So the set I would go with for is Swords Dance, Leaf Blade, Earthquake, and, well, Meteor Mash. Though, because I'm an accuracy freak, I would go for Hoenn Claws. So this would be my personal set. Again, you could change it up as you like, because as I said, I'm an accuracy freak, so you could just keep Swords Dance and leave the rest like this, or have Iron Head. But then, how are you not gonna use Meteor Mash with Swords Dance or Hoenn Claws? So yeah, next Pokemon is Achilles. Now, when this guy goes Mega, he is a very fast special attacker and has the Drought ability, which is really good. However, he doesn't get Solar Beam, unfortunately, even though in the game Theo's Achilles has Solar Beam, but it's whatever. So yeah, his moves would be Flamethrower, Earth Power, Flame Impact for priority, and the last move, I'm not really sure. It could be whatever you want. It could be Hidden Power. I'd like to go for Hidden Power Grass, but you can fill that spot with anything else. So let's go here. Well, I guess it's fine to go for a minus attack nature, because as I'm pretty sure the max IVs and attack will work out fine. Now, the next Pokemon up is Electruk. So now when this guy goes Mega, he gets the the Drizzle ability, which allows us to land 100% accurate Thunders, and just in case Rain runs out, I'd like to put Thunderbolt, Ice Beam for coverage, and the last move can be Scald or Surf. And yeah, you could probably take out one of these moves for Aqua Jet, but yeah, so you could take one of these moves out for Aqua Jet for priority, but this is the normal set I'd like to go for. So okay, another thing I'd like to point out is that since I don't even use like half the Pokemon in Uranium, so I'll also be learning as well their sets with you guys. So we have Kinemuk here. Abilities aren't really good except for maybe Pickup and Quick Feet. This guy's not a really good Pokemon. Stats are all pretty low. So let's see what we can do with this guy. I guess what we can probably do is probably go for Pickup and Since he's a special attacker, we can go for Hyper Voice, Thunderbolt. Let's put it on the Throat Spray, so we can pick up whatever item after we consume it. And this guy doesn't really get much. We'll get U-Turn for Pivot, and maybe Nuzzle for sure Paralysis. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with this guy. It's not a really good Pokemon, so we'll go on to the next one. So the next Pokemon we'll go over is Splendifowl, the early route Pokemon. It's pretty good special attacker, decent speed and garbage everything else, but you know that's fine. Big Peck isn't really the best ability. Now it looks pretty good, but base 93 speed, I'm not really sure if it's any useful. Now, obviously there are a lot of Pokemon faster than that, but I feel like 93 speed is a little too high for Analytic. There is Moody though, which does boost a random stat, but then lower a random stat. So I think it's either between Analytic or Moody. So we can give it the Heavy Duty Boots, and I think the best way to probably use it is, I guess I don't really know what. I don't really think there's a name for this, but like default to get rid of hazards. There's Air Slash or Hurricane, depending on who you are. Like again, if you're an accuracy freak or not. There's Flash Cannon or Rock and Ice types, and then the last move could probably be whatever you want. It could be like Roost, another move like Dazzling Gleam if you feel like it. Maybe even a Nasty Plot. But yeah, you can. I guess this last move can be whatever you want. Or I guess if you're using it in rain teams, you can probably run Hurricane as well. But other than that, that's I guess a set for Splendifowl. So the next Pokemon will be Nymflora. So pretty good. I think it's a pretty decent Pokemon, especially as a fairy type. Swarm isn't the most useful. Natural Clear and Magic Bounce are the really good abilities, but I think Magic Bounce would be better than Natural Clear, because what's better than getting rid of a status condition when switching out is just not having it at all by bouncing it back. So let's just go for a physical set first. Oh, keep in quotation marks physical set. So the item, it can be whatever you want. You probably go Sash to for sure set up Sticky Webs, or Heavy Duty Boots, because why the heck not? And our moves will be Play Rough. Let's see what gets for physical moves. I guess U-Turn for pivots. There's Seed Bomb. There's even we even have Knockoff and Superpower, X Scissor, Zen Headbutt. These are pretty good moves for here. So this would kind of be a physical set. You can mess around with it. However, as a special set, it does get Quiver Dance, despite the fact that its physical attack is higher. But if you want to go for special set, then we will go for Quiver Dance, Moonblast, Signal Beam, because for some reason it does get Bug Buzz. And then the last move is probably going to be like Giga Drain or Grass Knot, with Magic Bounce and the item Heavy Duty Boots or Sash. So that would be the set for Nymflora. Next one up is Garurul. Now, the only really good ability for Garurul is Sturdy, because it doesn't really get enough Sheer Force moves, and it doesn't get any stat moves for Rockhead, so Sturdy will have to be the best of our abilities. And we'll probably put Leftover the Heavy Duty Boots, whichever one you prefer. And I guess I should mention that this is I think Steel type is a really good type for this guy, with pretty good defenses as well, because of the nuclear type. Every type is weak against it except for itself and Steel type. So we could give it like Rapid Spin to get rid of hazards, Stealth Rock, there's Iron Head of course, and I guess the new move that it gets, signature move, is Metal Whip, where it traps targets for 4 to 5 turns. So yes, this would be kind of the set for our friend Garurul here. You could do other stuff like Toxic, and I guess Rest, Roar, and even Gyro Ball since it's really slow. But yeah, this would be the set for Garurul. So let's go to the next guy. Next guy will be Charillard. I feel like this guy is pretty cool, even though despite its kind of low stats, I think we could still make use of it, probably. Now, despite the fact that I know it's only 5 points higher, its special attack at 85, but this guy gets like no special moves, which is kind of weird, but you know what, it's fine. As for abilities, I guess it really depends on you whether you're using it as a Sand team, but If not, then I go for Arena Trap with Dragon Dance, Outrage, Earthquake, and Iron Head. Well, the last coverage move could probably be something else other than Iron Head, like Rock Slide, Superpower, Flare Up, Knock Off. That all depends on you. As for the item, we could probably go for the Lumberry, so that once we get confused by Outrage, we just eat the Lumberry and continue to outrage some more, though it can be burned down by any other status condition. But other than that, that's the set I recommend for our friend Turlard. So let's go to the next guy. We have Tofurang here. Now it's a very well, okay, maybe not very defensive, but pretty good defenses, and I guess less than average attack, but its main role is just to be a wall. It does get the Moxie ability, but I wouldn't recommend sweeping with this guy. So we can give it the Black Sludge, and as for moves, I guess we could give it Toxic Spikes or Toxic, Will-O-Wisp, and hell not, U-Turn, and then maybe let's give it Poison Jab. It does get Gunk Shot, but again, if you're an accuracy freak like me, I'd probably recommend stuff like this. There are tons of other moves to use, like Knock Off, Rest, Destiny Bond, Roar, but yeah, I guess that's how I'd recommend to use Tofurang. Alright, the new Dunsparce evolution. Before the Dunsparce, we have Dunsarath. The Dragon Flying type, pretty good typing, pretty good stats, I'd like to say. So the set I recommend would be Heavy Duty Boots, Air Slash, no question, probably a Calm Mind, Roost, and Flamethrower. Probably run other moves like let's see what we have. I think this guy gets Ancient Power. Also the signature, and maybe not signature, but it does have another move called Skyfall, which has a chance to 30% chance to paralyze the target. So you could probably use that as well for paralysis, and then just Paraflinch with Air Slash. So whatever works for you for Dunsarath. So let's go to the next guy. Next up we have Blubberog. Now, Water Poison, it's a pretty good type. Has pretty good special attacks, special defense, good HP, okay defense, and as of its abilities, Clear Body or Water Absorb would probably be the best for, I guess, a defensive set. So whichever one works for you. The obvious item would be to hold the Black Sludge. As for moves, while it does get nice physical coverage on like the elemental punches, bulk up, there's even knock off, very pretty good. So it does have a very low physical attack, and you definitely use this much as a special attacker. But then again, why would you not use knock off? So for moves, you'll give it Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb, Surf. Again, the lack of Pokemon that can run Scald. There's Ice Beam for coverage, and as for the last move, it could probably be Toxic Spikes, or something else. So, yeah, that's how I run a Blubberog. The next up, we have Beliger. Now, I don't think this guy is a pretty good Pokemon. While it does have good attack and pretty good defenses, it is pretty slow, but that's fine if you have pretty good defenses. Though it is a normal type, and it has the lazy ability, which means it succeeds for the first 2 turns. So it's kind of like a worse and slower Slacking. So what we can do, this is just more of a fun set. A Choice Band, maybe even Silk Scarf with Sleep Talk, and then Last Resort, and then that's the that's the set. Now, obviously, this gets walled by any Ghost type and also Rock and Steel types, but again, this is just for fun. However, we can do something else. Like, let's see if it gets, I don't remember if it gets Double Edge. No, it doesn't, but there is Return. I don't really see a point in running Swords Dance when we're asleep. Earthquake, and a Dark move or Ghost move for Ghost coverage, like Crunch or Knockoff. And as for items, we could just give it Leftovers, and then there we go. Or if you want it to wake up immediately, you could take out Sleep Talk or Swords Dance and give it a Chesto Berry or a Lum Berry, so that it wakes up immediately, and then you'll have her set right here. You could also give it Rest if you want to sleep back for whatever reason, because I'm pretty sure, I don't think this guy gets any other recovery other than Rest. So yeah, other than that, this is how I'd recommend Beliger. Next guy, is the new Primate Evolution before Nihilate. We have Emperilla. So it has a new ability called Infuriate, which boosts its attack by a stage if it gets hit by a physical move. There's also weak armor, where we get a boost of speed, however we get lower defense. So with this ability, I guess it really depends on you. I'd probably go with Infuriate, and could probably go for Bulk Up, Close Combat, Ice Punch, and Poison Jab. And for items, we could probably give it Life Orb. That's how I'd run Emperilla. There is Hone Claws if you want to land Gunk Shot, if you're like me. We could also go for an Assault Vest set and just replace Hone Claws with Earthquake or some other physical move. But other than that, that's how I'd run Emperilla. So the next Pokemon, we have the Shoutin. Now, this guy does have Serene Grace and also Tinted Lens. Out of these would be the better abilities, but let's lean on more Serene Grace. However, it's not really the best Pokemon all around. It does have good speed, but the rest of the stats are just okay. And plus, most of its moves are special attacks, despite its higher physical attack. So that's why you probably see like Zen Headbutt or Air Slash, even Ominous Wind, and some last move is like whatever it wants, like U-turn or something. We could give it Heavy Duty Boots, and then there's our set. Because this guy doesn't really get much physical moves, I mean, not like its special move pool any better. Like, look at that. You can do probably would be All Mind, Roost, Air Slash, and probably Flash Cannon for coverage. Actually, it does get nasty. Probably we'll just put that on instead. And then there we go. That's our Shoutin. There is a Tinted Lens set, so we can probably just take out Flash Cannon for Hyper Voice, and then there's the Shoutin. But yeah, other than that, that's all I gotta say for it. So let's go on to the next Pokemon. Alright, we have Pyroke. This guy and Rayleigh and Spinari, they're not really good Pokemon at all. They're slow and has poor defenses, so it's not really gonna outspeed anything. So the recommended item would be Heavy Duty Boots or Sash to ensure that you can do something. Sniper's its only ability, and it doesn't really get that much moves either. So you just give it Flamethrower, Signal Beam, Tin and Power Grass for coverage, and then U-turn for pivot. Not really a good way to use those guys, since, well, it's not a good Pokemon. You could use any other bug or fire type. So let's go on to the next guy. We have Brainor. So out of the two abilities, only one of them is useful if you're playing singles, which is Swift Swim. Rockhead is not useful at all because it's a special attacker, plus it gets no stab. Telepathy, it's pretty good in doubles, but they're pretty rare, so let's just go for a Swift Swim set. So I guess a cool way to use it would probably be a Choice Spec set if you're under the rain, and that's where we'll just give it a full-on special move set with Surf, Ice Beam, Psychic, or Psyshock, and I guess Focus Blast, but we all know how that ends out. So there would be a system set. However, we can go for something else like Leftovers, I guess, with Surf, Ice Beam, Psychic, Calm Mind, and there we go. The next guy is Arbok, because this guy has a Mega Evolution that is Poison Dark. So what it can do first is go for Intimidate for lowered attack, then Mega Evolve and get Petrify for lowered speed, so the opponent gets a minus Dragon Dance. So the moveset will be Coil, Gunk Shot, Earthquake, and the last move will probably be Sucker Punch for Dark type stab or some other move outside of Earthquake. We get Aqua Tail, we get Seed Bomb. I guess Crunch is its only best dark move other than Throat Chop and Pursuit, I guess. So I think this would probably be the best set. Coil, Gunk Shot, Earthquake, and Sucker Punch. This guy we have is Tansker. Now, despite the fact that it has Stab, Extreme Speed, and a good priority move and Sudden Strike, its stats aren't really the best. They're not really that good at all, unfortunately. It does have good abilities too, but then again, its stats aren't really the best. So I guess with Guts, it could be good to go Flame Orb with Facade, Sudden Strike, Knockoff, and the last move. As much as I'd like to put Extreme Speed, we already have Sudden Strike and a better normal stab and Facade. I'm pretty sure Sudden Strike would be just as good, so we gotta get some coverage. So we can either go for like Zen Headbutt for those fighting types, or even the new move, Infernal Blade, which is super effective against all fairy types regardless of their secondary typing and has a chance to burn. So there's one set for Tensker. Now, I think it's best if I combine the Moxie and Tough Claw set, so we'll just do that. As for items, you could probably give it Choice Band or something else. You take out Facade for extreme speed, and I don't think I'd change much outside of this, so that'll be the Tough Claw / Moxie set for Tensker. Now, the next Pokemon is Spinari. Now, like I said with Fyroke, him and Herulect aren't very good. Those trio of Pokemon are some of the worst Pokemon in the game. Look at these stats; they're horrible. And well, the one way to, I guess, the way to run it is Sticky Web with Sash or Heavy Duty Boots lead. Probably Sash so that it's guaranteed to get webs up. And since it's a special attacker, the last move will be Bug Buzz. Hey, look, it actually gets Bug Buzz. Surf and Ice Beam for the hell of it. And there we go. There's Spinari. Next up is Pahar. Alright, now we're getting into the good Pokemon. Not Pahar, Pajay. What about that? So, its abilities outside of Big Pex are pretty good. So you could either go with Flash Fire or Flame Body, depending on you. You're absolutely giving this guy Heavy Duty Boots with Flamethrower, Air Slash. I guess we could give it Solar Beam if you're using it under the sun. And the last move, we could give it U-Turn. So this will be the set for Pajay. Flamethrower, Air Slash, Solar Beam, and U-Turn. However, if you're not using it in the Sun team, or if Sun is running out, you could probably give it Hidden Power Grass. And there will be our Pajay. So let's go to the next guy, Gibraltar. So I'm pretty sure this guy's supposed to be the Pikachu clone of the region. Stats aren't really the best outside of speed. Quick Charge gives it increased priority on the first turn, so probably make it a full-on attacker. So Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Earth Power, and the last special move, it could be either HP Grass or HP Ice. So depending on you, so let's just pick HP Ice. We could give it Choice Specs, and there we go. Not really too much to say about this guy. For Gibraltar, we have Astronaut. Pretty good, fast special attacker with garbage everything else. Technician's a good ability, however, it only has like one special move, maybe two that make up for it. Hidden Power and Ancient Power for Technician. Trace could be a pretty fun ability, but I think Sturdy might be the right go. So I think a nice set we can do is give it Weakness Policy, since we can ensure we live with Sturdy, and then get a Weakness Policy up. You could give it any other stat boosting item like a Pataya Berry, or like maybe even Select to outspeed, but I think Weakness Policy is the best. We could give it Rock Polish, so that way we can get more speed, or even Nasty Plot or Calm Mind for more attack and bulk. You'll give it Psychic, Power Gem. It also gets another, I think you got another rock move on here. It was a Gemstone Glimmer, which has a 25% chance to lowers the accuracy by 1. You could run that too, but I think Power Gem is probably better because it's stronger. And the last move could probably be something else like Moon Blast or Slash Cannon, Earth Power, Shadow Ball, whichever, even Heat Wave. So the last move could be whatever you want, and there's Astronaut right there. Next up, we have Barriette. Now, there are lots of ways to use it since its regular abilities are already good enough, and it also has a Mega. So let's probably just get the easy one out of the way and go for Mega. So if we're going Mega, you could either take Moxie or Intimidate, and we'll go for Bulk Up. Probably, did we get a better fighting move other than Drain Punch? I guess there's High Jump Kick, but again, if you're an accuracy freak, I'd probably take Drain Punch or Brick Break. You'll give it Knock Off, and the last move can probably be Poison Jab, Iron Head, or other moves like Ice Punch, and that'll be our Mega Barriette. This set could also be used for a Moxie / Intimidate Barriette, and if we're going Moxie, we could even make it a Choice Scarf or Band user and give it the Ice Punch or some other physical coverage move, and there will be our Moxie / Intimidate Barriette with either a Choice Scarf or Choice Band. Now, for Guts, we'll go for Flame Orb with Facade, Drain Punch knockoff, and the last move can be either Poison Jab, Iron Head, Ice Punch, anything that works for you. So there is Barriette. Last of these useless bugs, Harrielect. Now this one's actually a physical attacker, though if I know a thing or two, it's not the most widest move pool. So we'll just give it Wild Charge, X Scissor, U-Turn. Well, actually not X Scissor, Leech Life. And for the last move, let's see. Yeah, it's, again, not a lot to work with. So let's see. I guess there is Swords Dance, so we could give it Swords Dance and then give it Sash or Heavy Duty Boots, maybe even Life Orb. I think this one might actually be the better of the three, kind of, but it doesn't really change the fact that none of these Pokemon are really that good. So let's go on to the next guy. Alright, Trawpint. I guess I'm going to be messing around with this because, again, I've never used this Pokemon in life, so I guess I'll be learning a thing or two. The better of the three abilities, but since Telepathy is really only used for doubles, looking at the two, they're pretty good. So it really depends on who you are. Let's just go for Infiltrator. Bypasses Substitute and Screens. We'll give it Black Sludge. We'll give it, let's get again, Nasty Plot, Flamethrower, Psychic or Psyshock, and Sludge Bomb. Now there are probably other ways to use it. Maybe, I'm not really sure if this guy could really be used as a bulky / support mon. It probably can, with moves like Pain Split, Taunt, Thunder Wave, Toxic Spikes, Rest. So whatever works for you to use Trawpint. I guess it's a okay mon looking at these stats. There's probably some other mons that can do its job better, but other than that, let's just move on to the next guy. Next one up is Heirloom. Now this is a pretty interesting Pokemon because it has a ground fighting type that has been unseen before. Great Tusk. Ground fighting, I think it might be good offensively, but not the best defensively because there's of the common weaknesses to berry, water, and grass. And when you really look at its stats, he's slow and doesn't have the bulk to make use of its good attack. So as its abilities, they're all pretty good. Let's just heal for the gut set first. We'll take Flame Orb, Facade, Drain Punch for healing, Earthquake, and the last move could probably be whatever you want. And again, knockoff, it gets Poison Jab, there's Gunk Shot, but again, depending on who you are, it might be Accuracy Freak. There's Crunch, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. I guess there's also Moonlight for another bit of recovery, so you can just take Close Combat. So whatever works for you for the gut set. As for the Defiant / Mode Breaker set, I would just combine Mode Breaker and Defiant into two. We can either make it a Choice user or an Assault Vest user. I'll just go for Assault Vest. So we'll take out this for Poison Jab and Facade for probably Ice Punch or Thunder Punch. And that'll be Heirloom. Now let's move on to the next, to its counterpart, Violet card. Now, okay, so this is a mystery run for the mystery gifts. However, I won't be going over that one because I don't really feel like to, even though it does have a really good ability and speed boost. So, but let's just go over with Violet card. Now, something I forgot to mention with Mega Barriette is the ability Bloodlust, where if it uses an attacking move, it'll gain an 1/8 of the damage dealt. So we can kind of abuse this with the move Black Sludge and Drain Life. Violet card's energy move, which recovers 50% of the HP. So when we attack, we'll get the Drain Life HP, the Bloodlust HP, and the Black Sludge HP. So that's a lot of health that we're getting back. Now, unfortunately, while he is a pretty attacker, so we can give him Giga Drain, he is really frail, and I don't think this set was... it's not really meant to be like a support / bulky Pokemon, and that can just suck up all the HP, but it's fine. We could probably give it Drain Life, Bulk Up, Poison Jab, or Gunk Shot. And the last move could probably be something like Ice Punch or another draining move like Drain Punch or Giga Drain or even Leech Life. In fact, we could probably just give it Drain Life, Giga Drain, Drain Punch, and Leech Life. But we could keep the Black Sludge or maybe even give it Big Root to boost our HP recovering moves. Though there's not really a poison type move on here, so we could probably take out like Leech Life or Poison Jab. But yeah, that's how we can use Violet card. The next Pokemon would be Drillgan. Alright, so this is an interesting guy. So out of its regular abilities, I think Mold Breaker and Sand Rush are the more useful one. Lightning Rod doesn't really matter since A, we're a physical attacker, B, we're already immune to electric types, so you could either take Sandwich or Mold Breaker, your choice. However, if you're getting Mega, it doesn't really matter if you were trying to go for which abilities you're going for, because you're going to get Sand Rush anyway, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you'll just get Sand Rush anyway, so if you really want to get Sand Rush, if it didn't get it, you'll get it in its Mega form. So what we can do with this guy, we can probably just give it Swords Dance, Knock Off, Earthquake, and the last physical move could probably be whatever you want. What do we have? We have Rock Slide, Super Power, Zen Headbutt, X Scissor, Drill Peck, and well, we don't really need Crunch. There's a Gunk Shot and Iron Head. So whichever last move you feel works for you. I'll just probably go with let's just say Rock Slide. And there's our set for Drogon. So let's go on to the next Pokemon. So the next Pokemon is Cancer. Now, it's a pretty versatile Pokemon. There is a Chlorophyll set and a Harvest set. But these two sets work under the sun, while the Sandville set works under the sand. So I think it's more commonly used under the sun. So with the Chlorophyll set, we could probably go for a Sash or a White Herb. I say this because it gets the move Shell Smash, which is really good. One of the best boosting moves. We'll give it Leaf Blade, Earthquake, and then Fire Punch for ice types. Now, for Harvest set, we can always replenish a berry. So we can always replenish a Citrus Berry, or even be a bit sneaky and recycle a Lychee Berry to get infinite attack boosts. And as for the moves, we'll probably have to do something else other than the Shell Smash set. Not really sure what would work. Maybe Synthesis. There's also Toxic and Stealth Rocks for some other utility. But yeah, just mess around and see what works for you for Cancer. So let's go on to the next guy. Now, the next Pokemon is the new Corsola evolution, but for Cursula, and I guess Galar Corsola. We have Corsola. Despite that it has pretty good bulk, Water Rock is not really the best type, as it has a quad weakness to ground. It's also weak to electric and fighting. Now, as opposed to Water Ground type, its only weakness is grass, so it can work its way around it, but unfortunately Corsola can't do that as it has two other weaknesses. Now, if we tried to go for a bulky set, I would probably recommend, well, actually Natural Clear Regenerator, really your choice. Let's just go with Regenerator with Leftovers. I don't know if this should, okay, this does get Scald. I think it gets Stealth Rock, Recover. The last move could probably be something like Toxic, and then there we go, there's our course for you. However, it does get a new ability called Sharp Curl, which doubles our damage. However, the drawback is that take double damage from moves. We might as well be having our defenses with this one. Okay, so we can probably go for a Sash lead, though I don't think you should really expect much from Corsola. We could probably try a Rock Polish set with Scald, a Power Gem, and then we have, it does get Ice Beam. We could even probably go for a Fairy move with the fighting types. Yeah, I don't think we'll be getting much from Corsola. We have Tubbereel. It has pretty good abilities. I think the weakest one might be Strong Jaw, while we do get boosted Crunch and I guess Ice Fang. I think those might be the only moves we get. Yeah, so you could still go for Strong Jaw, but I don't think I'd recommend it. I definitely recommend Swift Swim or Intimidate. So what does it combine these two sets? We can either go for an Assault Vest set and go for a Waterfall, Knockoff, Aqua Jet for priority, and I guess Poison Jab for the fairy types. You can still go Ice Fang on here, but it really works up to you. Now, we could also just go Choice Band or Choice Scarf, and that can still work really well for our Swift Swim / Intimidate set, and there is Tubbereel for you. Next up, we have the Scartress. So, I think it's going to be a pretty decently bulky Pokemon, like most water ground types in the main game, like Gastrodon and I guess Seismitoad and Swampert. As Shell Armor to protect itself from crits. And then there are Sandstorm abilities, but we'll just stick with Shell Armor. Give it Leftovers with Stealth Rock, Recover, Scald. Oh wait, yeah, lack of Scald Pokemon. Earth and Earth Power. There is Ice Beam for coverage, so we could probably take out maybe Earth Power for Ice Beam, but again, whatever works for you. Gelin, basically kind of like Rotom Mow, but on steroids. It's really good sun abilities, though Chlorophyll would probably be the better one. But you can stack Solar Power with like Choice Specs or even a Life Orb, but I think Chlorophyll is best since we have more than enough attack, so we could use the extra speed to Energy Ball, Solar Beam, Thunderbolt, and Volt Switch out. You can use other moves like Growth and maybe even use Giga Drain, but We could probably use Giga Drain over Energy Ball, but whatever works with you. And as for items, I'm not really sure what to give it. We could probably give it Life Orb or even a Choice Specs. But yeah, you could just mess around and see what works for you with Gelin. Alright. Whimsicott actually got a Mega Evolution in Regenerator, which is pretty good ability. So I guess the set that we can go is probably Energy Ball, Moon Blast. Does it get Giga Drain? It does get Giga Drain. Giga Drain and U-turn. We could probably still have some moves that work with Prankster before we Mega, like Tailwind, Toxic, Taunt, or whatever. Maybe even Memento. But other than that, just mess around with Whimsicott and see what works. Alright. We have Baran. This guy is not really a good Pokemon. Well, the stick I guess in the game now also boosts Baran's critical hit. I still don't think it's really that good of a Pokemon because of its very low stats, and 85 speed is not really the best. Sure, gets outsped by a lot of Pokemon. We'll give it Tough Claws, and since it's a physical attacker, we'll just give it Outrage, Fire Punch. Does it get any parry coverage? Poison Jab, and Extreme Speed for priority. There was also Shadow Claw, since it also has a high crit chance ratio, but other than that, Baran's not really that good of a Pokemon, so let's just move on. The next Pokemon we have is Glavenug. Now, you can either use this in the rain or in the snow. You can't set up the snow itself, so that way it can land 100% accurate blizzards, and if it's gone, we'll just use Ice Beam, we'll have Surf, and I guess Dazzling Gleam for fighting types. And I guess that's really all it needs. If we could give it Choice Specs, this could also work for a System set as well, but we could probably take out like Blizzard, or maybe we get Calm Mind and give it a different item like Heavy Duty Boots. Natural Cure is also a pretty good ability as well, so we could probably combine Swift Swim and the Natural Cure set with this, and that'll be Glavenug for us. Alright, next up we have S51A. Now, this guy has a pretty good ability in Levitate. Their Analytic is also pretty good too, especially since it's a bit slower than I guess Splendifowl, so it could probably take more use of the Analytic boost, but turning a weakness into an immunity is probably a lot better. So we'll take Levitate and do a Nasty Plot, Psychic, Flash Cannon, and as for the last, oh sorry, that's Flash Cannon. That's for special moves. Because it's a Psychic type, it gets a lot of coverage, like Energy Ball, Dark Pulse, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Heat Wave. I probably recommend Heat Wave because the set we have right now cannot hit other steel types. You could also go Focus Blast as well, but I think we all know why I didn't suggest it. Items, we could give it the Leftovers. And as you can tell right there, it does have a Mega, and when it goes Mega, it gets the ability Mega Launcher, boosting Aura, and Pulse moves. Doesn't really get much of Pulse moves other than Dark Pulse right here, and the signature move, Laser Pulse, which can be an electric, fire, or ice type attack. So that's pretty good coverage right there, if I say so myself. And now we have a set for S51A. So next Pokemon we have is Paraboom. Now this guy is a really Pokemon in my opinion. He gets the Soundproof ability, which blocks sound-based moves. However, it has the Sound Boost ability, which boosts the power of sound-based moves. Now, it came out before Gen 9. Unfortunately, it could not get Psychic Noise, because if it did, it'd probably be a very big powerhouse. But it's okay, because we get a very powerful stab boom burst with this ability. So we could probably give it Choice Specs or Choice Scarf, give it Psychic, or I guess Psyshock, with Thunderbolt and Flamethrower. And there is Paraboom. We could also just give it, outside of Scarf, I said you give it Specs, or even the Throat Spray, which boosts our special attack once we have used a sound-based move. So yeah, those are the ways to use Paraboom. Now let's move on. The next guy up is Infligita. This guy is, well, it's pretty broken, getting a power boost from every priority move. So it's basically almost always gonna go first with Stab and Acceleration boosted Flame Impact. There's also Extreme Speed, Swords Dance to further boost your moves, and I guess Earthquake for coverage. It also gets U-turn as well. We could give it the Infligitite, which keeps the acceleration ability, and we just get better stats overall. We are pretty frail, but it doesn't matter since we have high attack and high speed to make use of. So let's move on to the next Pokemon. Next up is Kimikonda. The optimal way to use it is the Contrary ability. Now Petrify is nice to lower speed. However, with Contrary, we could get Stab Overheat and get a attack boost to it instead of a air special attack. So we'll have overheat, give it heavy duty boots, sludge bomb, hidden power grass, because kind of all we got. And the last move would probably be dark pulse for psychic types. And there is Kimakonda. Next is Freaky Tiki. Now I really like this guy. I'm gonna buy it since I used it in my playthrough. Pretty cool grass fire type, and the best of its ability would be Technician, no question. While Vital Spirit protecting us from sleep is nice. Most of the sleep moves like Sleep Powder and Spore are grass type moves, which we're already immune to, and Yawn is. I don't think Yawn is something you'd encounter much, and I guess Dark Void isn't something you encounter much as well. Iron Fist is pretty cool, but we only get like Fire Punch. And yeah, as you can see, there's only 2 punching moves we can use, so we'll just have to stick with Technician. So we can either give it heavy duty boots or leftovers, your choice. Bullet Seed, Flame Charge, so that we can get faster. There is Aerial Ace, but it's not really needed. Oh, this guy gets Fiery Dance? I had no idea, but it doesn't really matter when we're a special attacker. You give it Swords Dance or Bulk Up, your choice. And the last move can either be U-Turn for pivoting or Rock Slide for coverage. And there is Rikitiki. Next up is Harptera. Now this guy is a really good Pokemon, especially since all of its abilities are really good as well. Actually, with all of its abilities, it's not really useful for it to hold an item because its best flying move is Acrobatics, which is only good when having no item. And I just now realized it has Dragon Dance. Oh my god, this guy is insane. So we could probably combine all of these sets with one ability. We'll give it like so. Let's just do the Unburden set first. Let's just try giving it Sash with Dragon Dance, Acrobatics, X Scissor, and the last move would probably be like Drill Run or Brick Break for those pesky rock types. Probably Drill Run because it also counters fire. I guess another thing we can do is Weakness Policy with Endure, and there will be our set. And as for Moxie and Gale Wings, just do no item with let's just put Brick Break for the last move, and then for Moxie and our Gale Wings, and then that's the set for Harptera. I wish we could give it an item that can like either boost stats, whether it be Choice Band or Life Orb, but because Acrobatics is its only good move on here, we can't really do much, so we'll just have to live with what we have. I guess outside of the X-Scissor we could give it Leech Life, but it really doesn't matter since we're frail as hell, but it's fine. Alright, our next guy up is Coatlet. Grass Dragon type with Levitate and Chlorophyll. Now, the better of the abilities would definitely be Chlorophyll. We don't really care about being immune to ground since we already resisted, but the option is there. So we'll just go with Chlorophyll with Nasty Plot, Energy Ball, Giga Drain, or I guess even Solar Beam if you feel like it, assuming you're using it under Sun, Dragon Pulse, and Hidden Power Fire, because we have no way of hitting Steel types, and we have no way of hitting Nymflora if we didn't have HP Fire. As for items, we could probably give it Life Orb, and that will be the Coatlet set. We have Tracted. Now, the best way to use it is definitely the Speed Boost. We'll give it Shift Gear, and we'll give it Outrage, Iron Head, and the last move could probably be like Drill Run, maybe even Fire Ice Fang. But just go with Drill Run. As for our item, we could probably do the same thing by giving it Lumberry, or by giving it something else like probably even leftovers. But yeah, that's how I'd suggest to use Tractin. Dermafrost. Alright, this guy, I don't think he's really that good of a Pokemon, since Ice Rock is not really that good of a type. It has good bulk, Solid Rock, I still don't think it's going to be saved that much, especially with 2 quad weaknesses. So, probably the best thing is either Solid Rock or Sturdy, a Weakness Policy, Rock Polish, so we can try to outspeed things. Ice Punch, because this guy doesn't get Icicle Crash. There's Rock Slide, and I guess there's even Ice Shard for priority. Though there are other coverage moves you can use, like Earthquake, Drain Punch, Iron Head, Knockoff for utility, Thunder Punch, Zen Headbutt, have you. I don't think I really recommend Dermafrost. The next fossil Pokemon, Theriamp. Yeah, I didn't really mention that Dermafrost is a fossil Pokemon, but here we have Theriamp, which is a better fossil Pokemon than Dermafrost. Its abilities are really good. We will start off with a Rock Head set with Volt Tack. Oh, not Volt Switch, but it's still useful. Volt Tackle and Head Smash. 2 very good stat moves to utilize the Rock Head ability. As for the last moves, probably give it Ice Punch for ground coverage, and the last move can probably be whatever you want, like Volt Switch, U-Turn, Fire Punch, Brick Break, what have you. We'll probably go for U-Turn or Volt Switch, whichever one you like. And we'll probably give it like a Choice Band. And then there's our Therium. Now, for Energizate, you'll give it Body Slam. It moves. There's even Quick Attack for priority if you're feeling like it. You can probably take that out for U-Turn. And you can also give it Swords Dance as well. Why the hell not? Give it an Air Balloon. And that will be Therium. Next Pokemon up is Titanize. I'm not really familiar with this guy, and I don't really think he's that good. I don't really think this is a pretty good Pokemon. Ice type and with pretty mediocre stats. Ice type isn't really the best type in the world. So all I can really do is probably give it heavy duty boots with Toxic, Waterfall, Icicle, Crash, and honestly, I'm not really even sure what I should even put for the last move. Probably like Pain Split or Roar. Now, I don't really think this guy is a pretty good Pokemon, and the only reason I even recommended this set because I was playing in random battles, and I think this was the set for Titanize. But yeah, not really a spectacular Pokemon. So, alright, Daikatuna. A Water Steel type is a really good typing. It has a lot of resistances. It's pretty fast and pretty strong. It's garbage everything else, but that's fine. The better of these abilities would probably be Sheer Force or Swift Swim. Now, Inner Focus is immune to Intimidate, and we can't flinch, but I think Swift Swim and Sheer Force are just the better option. So with Sheer Force, we could probably go with F4, Swords Dance, Waterfall, Iron Head, and the last move could probably be like either Aqua Jet, Priority, or Earthquake, and that'll be the set. This set could also work for Swift Swim sets, so yeah, there's Daikatuna. Now, the next Pokemon is Serentide. It has a Mega Stone. We're obviously going to choose that, especially since its ability, when it goes Mega, is Pixelate. Turns normal moves into fairy moves and gives them a boost, so we'll just give it Swift Swim for why not. Calm Mind, Surf, Ice Beam, and Hyper Voice. And there is Serentide for you. Now, the next Pokemon up is the new Pitsy evolution. Well, I guess the branch evolution to it, Mysmedic. Now, despite being a physical attacker, it barely has any physical moves, and it doesn't even get Play Rough. So we're kind of forced to use it as a special attacker. So out of these two abilities, I have to go for Healer. Can't make use of Poison Touch. Well, we have to be a special attacker now, and we can't use any physical moves because we barely have any. So we'll have to go for Black Sludge with Sludge Wave, Nasty Plot. Does it get Moonblast? Moonblast, and probably Psychic. Probably isn't the best way to use it. It's probably better off as a utility mon, like Toxic, Trick Room, Toxic Spikes, even Aromatherapy up here. But yeah, I guess that's the best we could do for Mysmedic. Such a shame too. Could have been a really good Pokemon. Next is Winnotinger. Oh wow, the mystery Winnotinger has Pixelate, but unfortunately we have to go with our regular one. The first fairy fighting type before Iron Valiant. Out of the two abilities, we'll go for Magic Guard. It's a pretty good ability, meaning that we can only get hit by direct moves, so we could even utilize Life Orb. Now, since we are a special attacker, we can, let's see, Nasty Plot, and then we'll have Aura Sphere, Moonblast, and Flamethrower. And that is Winnotinger right there. You could also probably do some other gimmicks like Final Gambit, and let's see what else we got. I guess there's also Taunt, but other than that, that's how we can use Winnotinger. Now let's move on to the next Pokemon. Next, alright, this is going to be really fast. Duplicat. It's basically the ditto of this gen, except it doesn't have Imposter, we just have Prankster, so we'll probably just have to go for Transform. It does get more moves than Ditto, but we can't really utilize the Prankster ability that much other than for Toxic and a Trick Room, which can be cool. But other than that, it's probably best to Transform and probably hold an item like a Choice Scarf, probably even a different item, but other than that, that's how we can use Duplicat. Now we can move on to the first nuclear type of this video, and probably the best nuclear type, as it's even in Ubers. This guy just basically kills everything and anything that isn't a steel and or nuclear type. With its ability Animizate, it turns normal moves into nuclear moves and gives it a power boost. So a Hyper Voice, or even Hyper Beam if you're willing to, a Hyper Voice will kill literally almost anything that has a dual type. And it even gets Calm Mind to boost its special attack. You could even give it Hidden Power Fire for steel types, and I guess the last move could be Quick Attack for priority, and we could give it probably a Focus Sash because, while nuclear types are super effective against everything except itself. And steel types, they're also weak to everything except itself. So this will probably be the set right here. Though we probably can also do a choice scarf set so that we can guarantee go first and take out Calm Mind for probably half-life. I don't know, maybe even a mirror code if we're going against another Nucleon perhaps. But other than that, basically choice scarf, hyper voice, and whatever moves you have is good enough for Nucleon. Next up we have Graffiti. This guy is the Smeargle of Uranium, so most optimal set will probably be Pickup, or I don't even know if it matters which ability you have, but I think Pickup and Insomnia are the better ones. We'll just go for Pickup with a Focus Sash, Spore, probably a Shell Smash, a Baton Pass. We get up Sticky Webs, and because again this is a Smeargle, so you could basically use it however you want. We could probably even do something like set our opponent to sleep, get all the entry hazards, probably even a dark move like Knockoff. Or if you just wanted to use it as a sweeper, we can still keep Spore, get oops, not Sheer Cold, Shell Smash, and then for physical moves, because it has a better physical move pool. Actually, who am I talking about? This thing gets everything. Give it Wicked Blow, and then Infernal Blade. Why the hell not? Not the most creative set, but again, with so many moves, there's so much you can do, and this is just like scratching the surface. So with Graffiti, do whatever the hell you want. Next is Gargriff. Not really too familiar with this guy. However, apparently its ability Rebuild means if it's unhit, it'll gain an 8 of max HP each turn. So what we can do is probably give it Leftovers, protect for guaranteed leftovers, Rebuild, Fling, Health Rocks. There's even Taunt and Will-O-Wisp for an attacking move. It's more of I guess a bit of a special attacker. We could probably give it Power Gem, and for the last move it could be another coverage move like Flamethrower, or something else like Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Substitute, what have you. Next up is Drum Sama, the Zoroark of Uranium, if you will, and it even has a Mega where it keeps its illusion ability, so we'll go with that. Now, apparently there is a Mega Dark Drum Sama, but it's just not implemented in this game, so you'll have to live without. So moves, I don't think it gets Nasty Plot. Oh, it does. So we could give it Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, Psychic, or Side Shock, and that's for the last move. We could give it Focus Blast to take care of those dark types, but we all know how that ends. We could even give it Recover, and that'll be the Drum Sama set. Now we have Antarchy. I don't think there's too much going for this guy. It does get Prankster, so we can do like a first turn Will-O-Wisp, Cover, even Toxic, a Taunt, Flamethrower, because it's more of a special attacker, Heavy Duty Boots. Yeah, so nothing really too special about this guy. I mean, even looking at it, we could probably even use it as a sweeper. Calm Mind, and it's just 3 moves this. But maybe Prankster with all utility moves is probably the better way to go. Next up is Luchabra. It gets the Hustle ability, which is pretty good. However, it lowers your accuracy, and it doesn't look like you get Home Claws, so if you want to deal with Hustle, then I guess probably pair it up with some Headlands or have someone Baton Pass some accuracy boost. What you can do right now is do a Poison Touch set, and let's just give it an Assault Vest. Give it all physical moves and close combat. Poison Jab. I didn't even know this guy gets geared right. Knockoff to take care of Psychic types, and as for the last move, probably just, well, either give it Mach Punch for priority or Earthquake for just more coverage. I think for a Hustle set, we could probably give it a setup move in replacement of maybe Mach Punch or Bulk Up and give it like a Life Orb. Other than that, that's the Luchabra set right there. Next up is Chain Knight. This is a pretty cool looking design. Out of the 2 abilities, I guess Shadow Tag would be the better one, but I don't think it really matters which one you have. We could probably give it like Leftovers with Destiny Bond. Oh, it even gets Knockoff, Memento, even Taunt, Thunderwave, Toxic, Will-O-Wisp. A lot of utility here. We even have Shadow Sneak for priority. So this wouldn't really be an optimal set, but try and mess around with it to see what works for you. I feel like I've been saying that for a lot of Pokemon I don't use. Sorry about that. Alright, now we have the 2 Pokemon, Pyko and Andurine. Let's go around Pyko first. Fairy type and competitive in Technician. Its special moveset, well, not only is it lacking, but there's not enough to use our technician ability for, so we'll have to stick with competitive. I mean, it probably gets a lot of physical moves. Yeah, it does. Like, geez. There's a nice fake out. We give it Moonblast, Ice Beam. There's Ice Shard for priority. Even got U-turn for pivot, taunt. Probably give it like heavy duty boots or sash. That's probably going to be the set for Alpyco. Now for Andorine, out of its abilities, Snow Warning is definitely the best. Rivalry will reduce attack if we fight the Pokemon of the opposite gender. However, if it's the same gender, we'll get a boost. And that's pretty situational, so we'll just go with Snow Warning. We could probably even do a choice set or an EV set with Icicle Crash, Earthquake. Oh, that's good. Ice Shard he does for priority. There's Play Rough to fend off fighting types. U-turn for pivot. And yeah, that will be the set for Andorine. Next is Rosthra. Cool looking, cool. A pretty cool looking ice bug type. Its only ability is Deep Freeze, which has a 30% chance to freeze the target if the user makes contact with it. So we could give him Sash or Heavy Duty Boots, Quiver Dance, Ice Beam, Bug Buzz, and a special coverage moves like Rock or Ground, or even Fire to cover its weakness, because as you can see here, its special move pool isn't all that great. So we'll have to use whichever hidden power works. We'll probably go with hidden power Ground, and that'll be our set for Frosthra. Next Pokemon up is Bafninter. Now this guy has pretty good abilities in Thick Fat and Fur Coat, but it's best that we go for Fur Coat. You'll give him probably the Heavy Duty Boots with Dragon Dance, Outrage, Icicle Crash, and either Ice Shard for priority or Earthquake for coverage, and that's the set Bafninter. However, we could probably even go for an Assault Vest set or a Choice Banded set and take out Dragon Dance for Ice Shard, and that's our Assault Vest set slash choice set for Bafninter. Next up is Crillvolver. This guy has a pretty cool looking design with good special attack and pretty decent speed, and then everything else is just okay or bad, but it's fine. We could probably go for a choice spec set with Flamethrower, Scald. Okay, we'll just have to go with Nasty Plot setup and give it like Heavy Duty Boots, and probably Aqua Jet for priority, and that'll be the set for Crillvolver. Next up is Lavent. Now this guy does have a pretty good ability with adaptability. The only downside is that its stats are just okay. It gets pretty cool moves like Magma Storm and Recreate. Though since it is a special attacker, we'll probably have to go for Magma Storm unless you're like me and an accuracy freak. So we'll probably just go Flamethrower, Dragon Pulse, Scald. We'll probably just have to use Nasty Plot for setup, and why the hell not give it Heavy Duty Boots. Next Pokemon up is Navy Gas. I really like this guy, maybe because I've used it on my playthrough. I've always liked a fighting type since it's my favorite type, and this guy was no exception, though unfortunately for me he literally isn't obtainable since like the end of the game, but it's fine. I love Navy Gas. So how I normally run him is with a Choice Band set with Shadow Claw, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Knock Off. Now we can use him a little bit differently. Probably give him a Life Orb with Swords Dance, and either Mach Punch and or Shadow Sneak for priority, or just some coverage like Ice Punch or Knock Off, and that would be the set for Navy Gas. Next up we have Stenawat. His abilities in more importantly in Speed Boost and Acceleration are really good. Speed Boost gets a +1 speed every turn, and Acceleration boosts the power in priority moves, and it does get Flame Impact and Extreme Speed. And then our last moves could probably just be Wild Charge, and then either Knock Off, Iron Head, Dragon Claws, and Headbutt, or U-turn for pivot. And we could probably make this guy a Choice Banded set. Now for a Speed Boost set, you could probably keep it the way it is, or do something like probably a Focus Sash, because look at this guy's defense. Tail Glow is pretty nice, but unfortunately we're a physical attacker. Swords Dance. I don't think Wild Charge would be the greatest decision, because that would just break our Focus Sash, but unfortunately for us that's our only move we can go for. So we'll probably take Flame Impact, Wild Charge, and U-turn, but then again it does have other options, like I just said, Extreme Speed, Dragon Claw, Knock Off, Iron Head. So you can mess around with its moveset a bit. final, also Pokemon if I'm correct, is Majungle. Rock fighting type, however, it's like Hiraloon. Really good attack, but no speed or defense to make up for it, so probably gonna die before it even gets an attack off. So out of its abilities, they're both good. Code Body preventing stat lowering changes, so it can't be Memento, it can't be Intimidate, something like that. Battle Armor protects us from crits, which is really good. So I'd probably go for Assault Vest, whichever ability you'd like. You'll go for Punch, Rock Slide, Knock Off, and Poison Jab to end off berries. And that'll be our Jungle set. Next up is Hagless. Poison Electric type with Gooey, Liquid Ooze, and Regenerator. These are all pretty good abilities, but we'll probably go for Regenerator with Black Sludge or even an Air Balloon. Sticky Web, Utility, Recover. Probably go for Thunderbolt. And I wonder if we can spin a shot. It does, just in case we want to do something else like Toxic Spikes. And that would be like the set for Hagros. Alright, the next nuclear Pokemon is Xenoqueen. Now, here's where we get into nuclear moves that aren't just Hyper Voice Animizate. So when we look at our nuclear moves, we see that one of them is an Explosion. This is just a status move that isn't 100% accurate. A very powerful move that is not 100% accurate and lowers our special attack. The next one is 100% accurate, but weak. We all know why. It's because since the nuclear type is super effective against everything except itself and steel type, if we had a good nuclear move that was 100% accurate and had decent power, that'd be too broken. So you'll just go for Radio Acid because of accuracy's sake, Flamethrower for steel types, even nasty plot to set up more, and I guess the last move could probably be whatever you want, like Half-Life. And then we could actually give this guy a Rocky Helmet with the Aftermath ability, and that will be our set for Xenoqueen. Next is Hazma. This guy has a signature ability. I don't think it's a signature ability, but has an ability called Ledskin, which is immune to damaging nuclear type moves. However, nuclear is already resistant to nuclear, so this really doesn't give it much battle prowess. And on top of that, this guy's stats aren't really good, like, at all, so I'm not even sure what I'm even supposed to do with them. I guess we can try to set out Fallout with Expunge. We'll have Flamethrower for steel types, and the last move can, I don't even think it gets Radio Acid, so we'll have to probably deal with Gamma Ray when it runs out or something else. Let's just give it leftovers. Yeah, I kind of just spitballing with these guys. Well, I'm not even sure what to do. Again, I haven't used like most of the Pokemon on here. We have Gygaroach. Same thing as Hazma with the Ledskin ability. We could probably do a Sticky Web set with Sash or Heavy Duty Boots, but Sash should for sure set up webs. And you get do an Endeavor if we get it down to Sash. We have Half-Life. Probably just go for Gamma Ray. Probably isn't the best way to use it. Another way I can't think of, because I just saw that it had Nasty Plot, we could just do this, Flamethrower. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is another way that we could possibly use Gygaroach. Though, from the looks of it, it looks like Xenoqueen and Nucleon so far have been the better nuclear types. Though we will get to a better one because, well, look at the background and look at the thumbnail. Next up is Unicorn. Now, this guy is a pretty cool Pokemon. When it goes Mega, it gets the Magic Bounce ability, which is really good. Slightly more attack than it does physical attack, and it does have a pretty good special move pool, but in my opinion, I feel like its physical move pool is much better. So what I do is go for Swords Dance, Play Rough, Head Charge, and Earthquake. Now, up next is Branch Evolution, Oblivicorn. Now, these are all good abilities, but I'd recommend Mold Breaker or Defiant. So we'll take Mold Breaker or Defiant, give it Life Orb with Swords Dance, Play Rough, Knock Off, and Sudden Strike. It probably does have better physical move pool, like Earthquake definitely for steel types, Turn for Pivot, and Zen Headbutt for poison types. But other than that, that's how we can use Oblivicorn. Next up is Luxlong. Now, Luxlong is a Dragon Fairy type and it has two good abilities in Super Luck and Regenerator. Super Luck can boost crits, and Regenerator restores HP when we leave the battle. However, I think it's probably best that we go for Regenerator and give it the leftovers. We'll give it Calm Mind, Recover, Moonblast, and probably Flamethrower for coverage. We don't really need Dragon moves since Dragon's only super effective against Dragon, and we have Stab Moonblast anyway. Now we have two Pokemon, which I think we can combine together with Punk and Neopunk. The only real difference between these two is that I guess Neopunk is more physical attacker, but regardless, they're both primarily special attackers. Plus and minus aren't good abilities unless it's in doubles, so let's just get on with the moveset. We could most likely go for Choice Specs, and they have a priority move, an Instant Crush, and another move called Lucky, which it raises our crit ratio by 2. You can either choose that or just use Psychic, Thunderbolt, and then Volt Switch for pivot, though we could probably use some coverage like Dazzling Gleam, Focus Blast, Energy Ball, Earth Power, Shadow Ball. So yeah, that would be the set for Punk and Neopunk, since they're essentially the same Pokemon. Next up is the first pseudo-legendary we have on here, Laser. It has the abilities Intimidate and Moxie. They're both really good. Now, I did find a move called Subduction. So it says it deals damage and lowers attack by 2 and confuses the user. So I don't think it's on type Outrage, because Outrage attacks for like 2 to 3 turns, and this doesn't. So you'll probably just go for Earthquake. Maybe go for Bulk Up. Oh wait, actually there's Sword Stance right there. As for the last physical moves, we probably go Brick Break and really just Rock Slide, and we'll probably give it either Leftovers or Life Orb or something like that. And that will be our set for Laser. Alright, the next pseudo-legendary is Yatagarayu, and it has new weather, I guess, called Stormbreaker, and so on switch-ins, it summons a Thunderstorm, and that Thunderstorm will hit in like, probably like 2 or 3 turns, I think. It's kind of like a Future Sight. I think it hurts everyone on both sides unless someone is a ground or electric type, if I'm correct. That being said, we can give it choice specs with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Dragon Pulse, or Dragon Draco Meteor, but again, accuracy freak thing, and probably Hidden Power Eyes. I did also notice Calm Mind, so we could probably go for a Calm Mind set in replacement of, I guess, Volt Switch, Heavy Duty Boots, or Leftovers. Other than that, that's our set for Yatagarayu. The third pseudo-legendary and final pseudo-legendary, if I'm correct, is Belliadin. This guy is the Fairy Destroyer. It has good abilities in Define and Intimidate. It also has a new one called Disenchant, where it's immune to damaging fairy type moves. And like I've said with a few other Pokemon like Tansker, it has the Infernal Blade move, which is super effective against fairies, even if their dual type resists fire. And so now it has a stab move that is super effective against fairies. So the last moves we could probably just put Knock Off, do a Bulk Up set, and maybe even Earthquake or Drain Punch or Rock Slide, what have you. And let's give it like Life Orb or something. And there's our Belliadin. We could also go for a Choice / Assault Vest set and probably take off Bulk Up for Drain Punch. And that will be another set for Belliadin. Now we are entering legendary territory with Psychometer. It's a bug normal type, which it's kind of weird and also kind of sucks. However, it does have an ability called Elementalist, which gives us an extra 1.5 fire, water, or electric type attacks. So we could probably utilize this. We'll go for like Flamethrower, Bug Buzz, Surf, and Thunderbolt. Tri-Attack was also there too. Whatever works. We have choice specs. I wonder if it gets Quiver Dance. It does get Quiver Dance, so we could probably just even do something like this and give it like Heavy Duty Boots or Sash, and that'll be another set for Psychometer. Next up, we have Garlickid. Fast fighting with the ability Justified, so we can get +1 attack after getting hit by a dark move. So what we can do is Swords Dance, Speed Bomb, Brain Punch, and the last move could either be Turn for Pivot, Mach Punch for priority, or coverage moves like Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Earthquake, or Poison Jab, or even Knock Off. And we can probably give it like Life Orb or Focus Sash, and that'll be our set for Garlickid. Lantern. Pokemon with Sheer Force, which means it gives us a power boost to our moves. However, Room Exchange will remove any side effects if it has any, and if it not, then we won't get a Sheer Force boost. Now, even though it's a higher physical attack, see a common pattern that there really isn't, well, I guess, much to work with our physical move pool as opposed to our special move pool, if I'm correct. Yeah, because we got moves like Dark Pulse, Earth Power, Flamethrower, and Flash Cannon, and we could probably even use a Life Orb with that, and that will be the Lantern set. Another counterpart to Lantern, and these are actually supposed to be related to Heatran, so Lantern, Actin, and Heatran. Now, with the Intimidate ability, we could probably the best that we actually use it as a choice user. I haven't talked about the move Metal Cruncher, What it does is it has a 50% chance to lower the target's defense by 1. It's nice and all because it's base 120 power but only 85% accurate, so because I'm an accuracy freak, I'll go for Iron Head, Knock Off, Sudden Strike, and probably Earthquake. And now we have the main mascot, Uranium. Now we will obviously be using the beta form because A, it's stronger than its alpha form. Yeah, alpha form. And obviously we can't use gamma, so we'll just go with Uranium. It's a pretty mixed attacker, so we can probably use moves like Overheat, there's even Quantum Leap, Nuclear Slash with a high crit ratio. So if we look at our nuclear type moves, we have Atomic Punch, and even Proton Beam, Half-Life, what have you. And we could probably give it something like we could probably give it something like Expert Belt, since, well, pretty sure this is all it needs. Even looking at Kiri's set, all she had was this exact, I'm pretty sure this exact move set, 3 nuclear moves plus Overheat. I guess we'd also use White Herb for any stat drops. Other than that, that's a set that we could use for Uranium. That marks the end of making a competitive set for every Uranium Pokemon. I hope this helps you all at home. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.